Hello, 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 everyone. We live. We are back. I'm going to double check and make sure that I am in the Bald Life Magazine Facebook page. So, you guys, give me a second. This is definitely a lovely day. There we are. I see us. I'm a little delayed, but that's okay. Hello, everyone. We are back. Welcome to Bald Life Magazine. You know what? Life happens. And when life happens, what do? You just keep it pushing. You keep it pushing. But I want to see if I can share this on my I'm gonna see if I can share it on my pages. So guys, this gives us enough time to get other people on here and for us to share it. I look kind of foggy, but that's okay. Hi everybody, welcome. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna worry about that right now. We'll just keep that right there. Okay. Tanya, can you see us on your end on your computer?
Yes,
Does everything look okay on your end?
yes. You're a little
Okay,
bit,
awesome. Thank you
choppy,
guys
but
for coming. Okay, that's fine. You're clear. As long as you're clear, I'm good. Welcome everybody to Ball Life Magazine. We are back, and I appreciate you guys' patience. Third time is a charm. I mean, we did this 3 times, but hey, it's worth the wait. It really is. And for those of you who don't know, my name is Jamie Elmore. I am the editor and chief of Bald Life Magazine. I am your alopecia confidence coach. And for my babies, I am your alopecia auntie. So we are back. What is Bald Life Magazine all about? Bald Life Magazine is a platform for men, women, and children that are bald due to alopecia, cancer, medically induced, or simply by choice. This platform is for them. This platform is for them to share their stories, to stand in their truth, and to unapologetically rock their crown. And I do not believe that there's another platform out there that's doing the work that we are doing. And our whole goal is to bring our community together and to let other people know that's dealing with hair loss that they're not alone. That they're not alone. There are 6.8 million people in the US, 147 million people worldwide that have this disease. Alopecia is a autoimmune disease. It's where your immune system attacks your hair follicle and causes your hair to fall out. It's not contagious, so you can't catch it by standing next to one of us or being in the same room or anything like that. It's not airbound, not at all. Alopecia doesn't discriminate, meaning that it can happen to anybody, any age, any gender, and any ethnicity. So it doesn't matter who you are. Alopecia just shows up. It can just show up. It's rude. It doesn't have any manners. I mean, it's just an interesting disease. And so I'm just excited to have my sister here with me today to talk about her story and to share with all of us what it's been like on her journey. So we're going to jump right in. And so Tanya, can you just say hello to the people? Just say hello to the people.
hello everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for having patience. I mean, we got these technical issues, but hey, we're here. And I'm glad you stuck around. Thank you for sticking around.
Yes, thank you guys so much. We're going to jump right in and we're just going to talk. I want to ask you, Tanya, give us a like a snapshot visual walk on when you first noticed your hair was falling out and how you eventually got diagnosed with alopecia.
So when I was very young, a young child, my aunt used to braid my hair. My favorite aunt, my aunt Frank, she used to braid our hair. I mean, awesome styles, right? Back in the 70s. So one day, I guess my mom noticed that some spots was appearing, some small spots, the size of a dime, then a quarter, kept getting bigger. So she finally took me to Howard University, had a dermatology department, and we lived in DC. So she took me there, and they hadn't seen anything like it. They diagnosed it as male pattern baldness. So that's how I discovered it was, and then later on they finally said it was alopecia areata.
Wow. Wow. So you got diagnosed at an early age. So when you tell me, what was it like when you understood what was going on? I mean, I know your aunt was braiding your hair, your mom was probably doing your hair, but when you finally looked in the mirror and realized, my hair is falling out, what age were you and what went on through your mind? What kind of thoughts were going on through your head during that time?
Well, like any other, kid, you just want to be normal. And I couldn't figure out like what, why it was happening. Like what had I done? My sister had to get her hair cut and I teased her. So I thought God was punishing me, right? So I was like, oh my God, this is happening to me. God is punishing me. So I thought if I was good, it would stop coming out. But one, I was never good, and two, so it just kept coming out. But eventually, it took me a long time to accept it. I just kept trying to hide it, just like most people. They just want to be normal, so I just kept trying to hide it.
Wow. Wow. So you dealt with this in school. What was it like growing up in school? Because I know the kids can be cruel,
Yeah.
and they can be mean and rude and all of that. Did you deal with any bullying in your early years with alopecia?
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I wasn't sure if it was because of the alopecia, because at that time my hair would come out and grow back. So sometimes it was, full head of hair, but it could have been, that along with other stuff that was going on. But my sister, my little big sister, she was my bodyguard. Like she fought everybody for me, So if there was somebody who was bullying me or was doing anything to me, she was there, So yeah, I got into fights. Well, actually, she got into fights for me when I was a kid. But as time went on, junior high school and everything, it got a little bit worse because I couldn't hide it anymore. So, the kids, they actually knew.
So what
And
kind of styles were you?
what kind of styles?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What kind of styles were you wearing? Were you wearing a wig then?
No, I wasn't wearing a wig. I still had enough hair that I could cover most of it, but it was just so bad because it started coming out in the back and on the sides. Again, it would grow back and then it would come out again. And it was just off and on. And then it finally just stopped coming back. But yeah, the kids noticed. I didn't have a hard time making friends, but there were a couple of kids that, were being kids. So I had to deal with it, but I dealt with it.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine. I think it was probably, and you can agree with me or not, was it more traumatic for you to one day have your hair, then the next day it grow back? I mean, I think that roller coaster ride of not knowing what your hair was going to do, that had to be traumatizing for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was, but the doctors told me early on that there was no cure. But of course, I would still go up, my mom would still take me out to get the shots. Of course, everybody knows about those painful cortisone shots and the creams. I used every kind of cream there was, every time they recommended something, hey, I was on it, we were on it because it was just difficult, dealing with that. Even in like, I think I was sixth grade or something, and this little girl asked me, did I have leukemia? And at that time, I had not even heard of leukemia, but when she told me that her aunt hair had come out, I was like, maybe if people thought I was sick, they would have some kind of sympathy for me, right? So I could say, oh, well, yeah, I have leukemia. I mean, but fortunately, I didn't say that. I never used that as an excuse. When people ask, I would just tell them what it was. But I thought about it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I can understand that. And as a kid, you just want to have an answer, to all the questions that are coming at you. You don't have anybody there, to support you or to fight your battles. Like you said, your sister, I'm pretty sure she was ready to defend you, but to have somebody right there 24/7, that's a whole different ball game. Now, was there anybody else in your family that had alopecia, or were you the only one dealing with this?
I think my uncle Gene, he has it. He's always had it since I can remember he was bald. So I think he had it. I'm not sure if he had ever gotten it diagnosed as alopecia, but I know that ever since I've known him, he's been bald, right? His eyebrows, I think he has a universal. So he's had it, my mother's brother. So they said it was genetic. It could be genetic. So that's where I think it came from, being just genetic.
Exactly. And it can be definitely genetic. There's so many different types of alopecia. There's alopecia areata, where you just have like the bald spots. And then there's alopecia totalis, where you just pretty much lose the hair on your head. And then alopecia universalis, where you lose all body hair. Now, that's where I am. I've lost my nose hairs, my eyelashes, and all of that. What type of alopecia do you have?
Alopecia areata. It's areata or areata. I never know the actual name. Yeah. But so it came out just on my head.
Well, that's good. But I'm glad you have alopecia universalis.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. Okay. No,
I'm
sorry. I was kind of talking at the same time. I apologize. So I was saying I was talking at the same time. So I apologize for jumping in with you. Now, when you lost your eyebrows, were you still in middle school or high school, or did you lose your eyebrows as an adult?
As an adult. So,
okay. So did you have to learn how to draw them on?
Yes.
Draw them on yourself?
Yeah, I drew them on, and what I ended up doing was getting it tattooed, permanent tattooed on, because I was tired of doing this, and my eyebrows was in my hand, or smudged all over my face. So I finally just got to the point where I just paid to have them just tattooed on, but I still use the pencil because I like it a little bit darker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I got mine tattooed on as well, and I fill them in just because I like to shape it up a little bit different. So I totally understand that. Now, did you ever I don't know if I asked you, did you ever wear wigs at all?
Mm-hmm. I wore wigs as an adult because, I wore wigs as I wore tracks first. I found this really good hairdresser, and she was really good. Oh my goodness, it was a miracle. She was a miracle worker, and she put tracks in. And I don't know if you remember this style called. I know you're a hairdresser, so you probably do. But remember the hairstyles that they had that used to be like the bun, it was like a long bun in the back. I forgot the name of it.
French roll.
But
a French roll. A French roll.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was just, I was like, how did you do that? Right. But she used tracks and a lot of hair. Of course, she rolled it in, and then she laid my hair down, and it was like the best hairstyle. But so I used to wear tracks for a long time. And then finally, I stopped wearing tracks because it wasn't working. I couldn't do anything with it anymore. And I just started wearing wigs.
How long did you wear wigs before you decided to? Do you still wear wigs now, or do you just wear head wraps?
Mostly just head wraps. I think the last time I wore a wig was maybe about a year and a half ago. And unfortunately, I used to make my own wigs. So
Okay.
sometimes they weren't the best, but they got me through sometimes when I needed them. And
Mm-hmm.
so I like the color. So I used to put color in it, like the purple. It was real cute.
Wow.
But then I just, when I wrote my book, Fiercely Speaking, when I wrote my chapter in Fiercely Speaking, I just stopped wearing the wigs altogether. But before
Mm.
that, when I decided that I would never wear my hair out again, that it had just come out so bad. I was in the bathroom one time and I was washing my hair, and my daughter, she was about 2 years old, I think it was, and it was just I just couldn't hide it anymore, right? I hid it from everybody, all my family, except for my sister. They all knew, but I hid it. I hid it from my kids. I didn't really hide it from my husband because he knew, but I just never, like, I always wore something on my head. I just was ashamed and embarrassed, right? But he wasn't,
Yes.
you know.
Mm.
But one day she came into the bathroom while I was doing my hair, and it was just, she was like, in her 2-year-old voice, "Mommy, your hair looks so crazy," you know. So it was like I couldn't deny it anymore. It
Aw.
was like, it does look crazy. So, I didn't go get any more braids. I used to
Mm.
get the braids, the long, to try to hide it, but I just decided I wouldn't do that anymore. And I just wore wigs and things like that. But that was the last time that I wore my hair out, my own hair. And she was
Wow.
2, so she's
I
21 now.
understand what you mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. She didn't know. And I understand what you're saying as far as not showing anybody or being. I felt like I was a prisoner in my own home because I was hiding. Like you said, your husband knew, he's seen it, but I think that made me more exhausted. It was more of
Mhm.
a emotional toll on me because I felt like a prisoner in my home. Now, did you feel like a prisoner in your home as well?
Yes, because he was saying, "Why don't you just let me see it? I mean, I love you. Just let me, it's okay. It's okay." And I was just like, "It's not okay." So I wouldn't let him see it because I just wasn't ready. It was still too painful for me, you know. So, eventually, he convinced me. He convinced me to,
Talk to us about
yes,
that.
huh?
Talk to us about that. Tell us about when you eventually showed what you were going through with your alopecia.
So, like, when I
Oh,
wrote the
I'm
book,
sorry.
that's okay. When I wrote the book, he knew because I talked about it then. But just recently, right? I told him I saw somebody on your show, and it was some guys, and they had this scrub, right? So I said, you know what? I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm just
Hmm.
going to shave my hair, right? I've been telling him that I was going to let him do it, right? So I finally let him.
Mm.
I was like, okay, I just got to do it. I just got to do it. I'm never going to wear my hair out anymore. I'm never going to wear my own hair. So what difference does it make, right? So I took a video and let him shave my head. And it was just so funny because I thought I would be, all broken up and sad about it, but it was actually kind of funny. So, so one day I'll post that video on my page, on my group. But yeah, and
Yes. Yes.
so he's like, now what?
Did it
What's
bring
next?
you?
What's
Go ahead. I'm
next?
sorry. We keep cutting out because of the.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Did it bring you guys closer together? You think once you shaved it off?
No, we was already pretty close. We was already pretty close, so
Okay.
it's about the same. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's awesome.
But yeah, I just wanted to mention
That's
also
awesome.
that.
Now, listen, what
Mhm.
advice would you give a young person? What advice would you give a young person that has just recently got diagnosed? What type of advice would you give them?
Well, I would tell anyone not to wait until they're older because one, they as of today there is no cure for alopecia. So what I would say to them is the earlier you accept it, the better off you'll be, because I waited a long time, right? And I just kept hoping. I kept every time there was a commercial about regrowing your hair, I would go get that product. So I spent countless of dollars. I spent countless of time wasted when I could have been just enjoying my life. So I would say to a young person, just go ahead and the earlier you accept it, the better off you'll be, the happier you'll be. Because once everybody sees it, it's nothing else that they can do. And most people just they don't even care. And I thought people would judge me or, tease me or something, but most people don't even care. I mean, they was like, I love you no matter what. So it doesn't even matter. The people that mind don't matter. I mean, the people that mind don't matter, and the people who don't mind, they are the ones that matter. So just cling on to those people.
Oh, that's amazing. And I like to add to that. I totally agree. The earlier you can accept it, the better. Because most people, when you're dealing with alopecia, number one, you think that you're all alone. So I
Yeah,
always tell my babies to find a support group, find other kids that look like you, so then you can understand that you're not alone,
yeah,
and get some counseling. I had to get some counseling to help me with, on my journey as an adult. I didn't have alopecia as a child, but get some
yeah,
counseling, find somebody else that looks like you, join a
yeah,
support group, and the sooner, like you said, that you can accept it, the better, because that extra stress that we put on ourselves because of this alopecia, it can take us out. It
yeah.
can take us out. Did you deal with any depression or anything?
Um, it
You did?
probably was slight depression. I used to cry. I used to cry and ask God, why me? But when I went around people, I just tried to be, upbeat, always happy, always smiling. I just, even though I was really in pain, a lot of times I was really sad, because although I know I wasn't alone, it just seemed like I was, even though I knew that I wasn't, I just can't explain it, but it does feel like that. But I
I
stopped,
understand.
yeah. I didn't even know that I
I
recently
definitely
did.
understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
What did you recently do?
I recently did a study for a university, and I thought that I was like healed, right? I wasn't sad anymore. But as I was telling my story, I couldn't help the tears because it was traumatic. It's a traumatic experience. The one thing I can say
I
for
understand.
me is that I feel like two things. One is not a death sentence. Alopecia itself is not a death sentence. I've never heard anyone dying from it. So I take comfort in that. And again, for me personally, I didn't have any underlying conditions like, I hear other people. And when I was talking to a dermatologist one time, even with the vitiligo, he was like, sometimes people with alopecia also develop the vitiligo because it's also autoimmune efficiency, immune deficiency disease. And I was just like, well, I'm healthy, right? So I just have to deal with it. I was going to try to cover it up, but I was like, why would I do that? I'm just not spending any more money or time wasted on that. I'm otherwise healthy, so I'm good.
That is good.
Yeah.
That is so good. And you brought up something that a lot of people are not aware of is that when you have alopecia, like you said, it can be coupled with a second or third. And a lot of people don't realize that there's so many other things that can happen. But like you said, it's not a death sentence. We're not going to die, from having alopecia, and it could always be worse. But on the flip side of that, sometimes people feel so alone. I've gotten calls from people who were on the verge of committing suicide because of alopecia. And so, if there's anybody out there right now that's dealing with it, it's not a death sentence. It's not something that you should even consider taking your life for, because you're not alone and you're gonna make it. If Tanya and I can make it, you see us on this screen,
Yeah.
you can make it too. You're definitely not alone. So as time went on, it sounds like you grew, like you said, you just did a study, and it sounds
Mhm.
like that some things kind of got triggered for you. And for me, sometimes I still cry. Somebody can say something, and I think that I'm over it, but something just happens, and you just start crying. I don't know why, but that's normal, and that does happen. But you got to a point to where you wanted to give back. So you started your own support group. So talk to us about the support group that you started and why you decided to start your support
Right. So my Facebook group is called Thriving with Alopecia. And it's for women who want to share their journey. It's a judgment free zone. They want to share their journey. Most of the people in the group, they have already accepted it. They know that acceptance is the cure, to actually alopecia. Because once you feel like, hey, it's here to stay, now I can help someone else with my story who may be going through it and know that, yep, you can get through this. You can thrive in spite of. You can have alopecia with style. You can do whatever you want to do and be whoever you want to be. And as my shirt says, embrace the skin you're in. That's what I tell everybody in my group. Just embrace the skin you're in because you are uniquely made. And it was all a part of God's plan. So that's what I'm here. I'm his vessel. I didn't always think that, but I realized that, somebody is thinking that this is, like you said, they're alone in this because they didn't know anybody else that had it. But 1 in 5 people have it, and may not even know they have it, right? And they're going through it. So I just say to them, just share your story because your story, again, is not for you. It's for to help someone else. And that's why I started the
group. You said
group.
it. Wow, that's amazing. I'm so excited I'm excited about all the things that you're doing, and you've put yourself in a position to where you realize that it's not about you and you want to help other people. And
Yeah.
that's what it's all about at the end of the day, is to let other people know that you're not alone, they can make it. Life is not over. Like you said, we can thrive with alopecia, we can keep living, we can have style, and we can do all of that. And so I want to talk about this beautiful head wrap that you are rocking right now. How long did it take you to learn how to do the head wrapping? I mean, my God, that is so cute. Did you teach yourself or did you go on YouTube? Which ain't nothing wrong with YouTube.
So initially, everything is on YouTube. So initially, I wanted to do different styles, so I stopped trying to figure it out on my own. And they had so many videos out there. And so I'll take a piece of one and a piece of another, and then I just kind of do my own thing. So it's just like, it just happens every day now. I just kind of either do a little bit different or, but I really like it that it's on top. I kind of do something that's hang in the back, but I really like it on top, So
Yes.
it didn't take that long actually at all.
Wow.
To learn how to
It
do
is so cute. Now, do you use
Thank you.
is the material kind of stretchy? What type of material do you use for your head
So
wraps?
I use different kinds of material and different widths. So like sometimes I'll use the actual square, and I'll make it into a triangle, and then I'll wrap it like that up on top of my head. Or then I'll use the long fabrics. I like different colors, so I like everything with patterns in it. And I know sometimes I don't be matching, but it's okay because I like it. So I'll throw on some earrings that don't go with nothing.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And I
I
just
love
do
it.
it. So it's different fabrics, different types.
Yes. Yes. I love it. Wow. That's awesome. I love it. And it looks like a crown, actually. Looks like a
Yeah.
crown that you're wearing on your head. I love the head wraps too. I do that sometime. I do more head wrapping in the summertime, or if it's real hot outside,
Mhm.
I will cover my head up with a head wrap. But now, is there anything that you would like to share that we haven't talked about concerning alopecia? Is there anything you can think of that you want to just share with our listeners that we haven't discussed already?
Um, well, I do have a new project coming up shortly. It's in the works, and it's got something to do with wearing alopecia with style and wearing confidence. So I will be looking for ladies who have alopecia to join in this project. But I will keep you posted on that. I'm hoping that this project will launch in September, Alopecia Awareness Month next year. But as far as anything I want them to know specifically about alopecia, again, to me, you have to come to terms with it first and develop your own style. And I've seen a lot of women, that look like me and you, and they just rocking it out. And every time I see them, it's like, oh my God, they are just so fabulous. And one time, and at one time I would stop someone and I would just ask them, do they have alopecia? I whisper it, can I ask you a question or whatever? And they don't mind. They're like, sure, and they'll tell me a little bit about what's going on. So it's just about, being comfortable, right? Just being, accepting it, and just being comfortable in the skin you're in. So that's what I would say to people who are dealing with this and going forward, right? Oh, and be
That's
who you want to
amazing.
be. And be who you want to be. If you want to wear wigs, rock that wig. If you want to wear your hair ball, rock that ball, right? If you want to wear wraps, whatever you want to do. Yes, Jamie is rocking it out all the time. I just love watching and seeing those pictures of you. You just like so fabulous.
Well, we know it was a journey. It didn't happen overnight. I haven't always been this confident, so it was definitely a journey. I want to ask you, and I said I'm going to start asking all of my guests. You have a copy of the Bald Life magazine, correct?
Yes, yes. It's somewhere
Tell
around
me,
here.
oh, that's okay. You don't have to get it if you don't have it.
Oh,
But tell me, what were your thoughts when you received the Bald Life magazine? Tell me how do you feel about the magazine, and what kind of impact do you think it will have on a person that's on our journey?
I think the impact that it would have, the Bald Life magazine will have, is that people know that they can thrive, they can be out there just like everybody else. They are just normal people, and they have a place where people who look like them, who've been through similar journeys, have shared some of their experience, they can go to and look through this magazine and say, yes, these people rock. I love it, and hearing their stories, because a lot of stories are similar, but there are, some distinct differences, of course, like what age they were, how it happened specifically. But the journey, the bald life journey, is the same, right? It's the same. So I think that magazine will allow them or let them know that there are others who are doing what I want to do, and I can do it too. I don't have to be ashamed. I don't have to be sad. I don't have to be depressed. So I am grateful for that magazine. I loved it. The moment I saw it, I loved it.
Oh, that is awesome. That's so good to hear because, a lot of people don't know about the Bald Life magazine, and it's our first issue, and it's a place for us. I mean, I think it's the first magazine of its kind out there. I mean, imagine a magazine featuring all bald people, men, women, and children from all different ethnic groups. That's what this
Yeah.
magazine is all about. And then we have amazing writers. The writers are professionals. They either have alopecia or they have a family member, or they work in the
Mhm.
area of hair loss. And so this magazine is unique and there's none like it.
Yeah.
So I encourage everybody to, and I invite and ask everybody to go to our website at balllifemagazine.com and order a magazine for yourself. Purchase a copy. If you don't have alopecia or you're dealing with hair loss, send it to
Yeah.
somebody that may be dealing with it. And so I'm just excited to have you here. I
Yeah.
appreciate your time. I appreciate you being patient, girl, because we tried this over and over and over again. Did you have something else you wanted to add?
Yeah.
Do you have something else you
Yeah.
wanted to add? Okay.
Yeah, and the stories in that magazine about the kids, you have like pages with the children in there. I mean, it's just so nice to see that somebody understands, right? It's so nice to see those kids in that magazine who are dealing with it, and other kids watching that who may have alopecia. They're like, I could be like them, right? So those stories were amazing. I really enjoyed the magazine, and I can't wait for the
Oh,
next issue. When is the next issue coming
thank-
out?
we're looking at December, January. Yeah, December,
Okay.
January. We're working on it right now, and we'll see. It's supposed to be a little surprise on what type of
Oh,
alt life magazine, but I'll
mhm.
know 15 by the middle of October
Okay.
what the theme will be. But it's
Okay.
definitely coming. So again, thank you so much, sis, for your time. Thank you for being patient, and I want to thank all of our viewers. We had a lot of people that came back and joined us again. I appreciate that. I really
Yeah.
do. So we look forward to
Yeah.
seeing you guys next week. We will be back here, I believe, next Friday and next Saturday for another interview. Please share our website and let people know that they're not alone. And if anybody needs any one-on-one coaching, you can go to jamierelmore.com. I'm available to coach you one-on-one. And then I have a alopecia support group as well. It's a nonprofit. That is on Facebook, Alopecia Support Group. So you can go to that link as well and go to that website, alopeciasupportgroup.org, and get some support.
Yeah.
Between the two of us and our groups that we have going on, you should be covered.
Yeah.
Definitely, you should be covered. So you guys have a good day, and we'll see you next time. And Tanya, you stay right there, but we'll say
Okay.
goodbye to us, but you stay right there, okay? So you guys have a good
Okay.
day. All right, bye-bye,
Goodbye,
everybody.
everybody.